My cousin Raymond and I had traveled to a rural province to visit a distant family member. It was a quiet town, the kind where people locked their doors at sunset. They said strange things happened after dark, but we weren't the type to believe in ghost stories. That night, after hours of drinking, we decided we needed another round. The locals at the gathering fell silent when we mentioned going out. Their faces turned grim. "Huwag na kayong lumabas," an old man warned. "Don't go out anymore." "But we're just getting more drinks," I laughed, but no one laughed with me. Finally, a man named Pete hesitantly told us about a store past the bridge, a 20-minute walk away. As he spoke, the other locals looked down at their feet, avoiding our eyes. That should have been our first warning. The bridge. We drove for 15 minutes before reaching the bridge Pete had mentioned. It was an old wooden structure, too fragile for our car, so we had to cross on foot. The night breeze felt unusually cold as we stepped onto the creaking planks. At first, we joked and laughed, our voices echoing in the darkness. But then we saw him. A small boy, around 6 to 8 years old, sat in the middle of the bridge, arms wrapped around his knees. His face was hidden, and he was laughing, loud, unnatural, and endless. Something about it made my stomach turn, but we ignored him and walked past. At the store, the owner took our money with shaking hands. Before we left, he muttered, "Pagbalik nyo, huwag kayong papansin sa kahit anong maririnig nyo. When you cross the bridge again, ignore everything you hear." We nodded, confused but too tipsy to care. The laughing boy, when we returned, the boy was still there. But this time he was crying loudly, still curled up in the same position. We slowed down, uneasy. Then, as we got closer, the crying changed. It turned into laughter. Something inside me screamed to run, but I was worried about the kid. "Hey, what are you doing here? Are you okay?" I asked the kid. He was barefoot, trembling, still hiding his face. "Bro, let's go," Raymond muttered. I hesitated, but something felt off. We took 5 steps away. The laughter grew louder. We turned back, and that's when we saw him. His head tilted to the sky, mouth stretched wide in an impossible grin. His lips were slit from ear to ear, and dark blood tears dripped from his hollow eyes. Then he snapped his gaze to us and screamed, "I don't want to die." The voice was deep, distorted, not a child's voice at all. We ran for our lives. The bridge shook beneath our feet as the laughter turned into an ear-piercing shriek. We didn't stop until we reached the car. When I fumbled with the keys, I made the mistake of looking back. The bridge was empty. No boy, no footprints, just the sound of distant, echoing laughter and a whisper in the wind. "You're next."